Q&A episode 8.
This is episode 8?
8 weeks we've been doing this.
I would have thought maybe 4.
Yeah.
Half of that.
Uh-huh.
It just...
Well, you skipped last week because you were out on the beach.
Yeah,
so for you, it's only been
the
7.
beach was nice. Let me tell you, man. It was like we were totally unplugged.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Work did not exist, man. It was good. It was a good refresher and good, booster for me.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it on Wednesday. If everybody we know, you need and deserve a break.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'll take that, man.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Hopefully you're back. And
I'm back. I'm ready to go. Let's go with the questions.
Ready to get it. Just a reminder, no episode this Sunday, 4th of July. We announced this on Wednesday, but enjoy the time with your family. We won't have an episode. We will be back to our normal schedule next week, next Wednesday with our roundtable and Friday and all that good stuff. So no episode here this Sunday. Have a great 4th of July. Question 1. George Hill asks, who was the best player you ever played with, and who was the best player you ever played against? Hold on, let me guess. Can I guess? Let me guess who the best player you've ever played with was.
Okay, go ahead.
Dion. Best player you ever played with.
Okay. There's a 2-part answer there to that question. Dion was the best athlete that I've ever been around and had ever played with. I mean,
Really?
Just a phenomenal athlete and was extremely smart. People don't give him enough credit for how he prepared, how he understood coverages and did the little things. Like he just understood the game. Like his football IQ was unbelievable. If he was in the boundary or if he was out on the main field, and how the teams are going to approach or attack him, and all. He just understood the game, and he had athletic qualities that no one else had.
Yeah,
best hands, best feet, great awareness. He was quick at the same time. Most times guys that are fast aren't quick. He was just the total package. So Dion was one of the guys that I would honestly say, as far as best athlete, one of the best football players.
Hold on, before you answer, what was it about, like, when you were watching Dion practice, for instance?
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Were you sitting there? Well, obviously you were playing too, but did you ever catch yourself thinking, "Oh my God,
the first time,
how in the world did he do that?"
Okay, so the first time I saw Dion, in all honesty, and you watch him and you always think, he's a whole bunch of show and a bunch of flash. And they even played against him a couple of times. I didn't really get to really see him. But the first time I really got to really witness him was at the Pro Bowl. And we were doing these backpedal drills. And I've been doing backpedal drills forever, right? But I watched his backpedal for the first time in person. I was like, oh shit, that's different. Just the way he moved was different
like
than
butter.
It was like cat. It was he moved differently. He could stay in his back pedal for longer periods of time. He could flip his hips differently than everyone else.
Just smooth.
He was smooth.
Who was he playing for at that time?
It's either Atlanta or no, it was
the Niners.
The Niners, I think it was.
And what year was this? Do you remember?
It had to be 95-ish.
Okay. How many years had he been in the league? I don't know y'all's relation.
He had been in the
other.
league. He had been with us. Let's see. Wait. That wasn't 95. It had to be earlier than that. It had to be like 93, 94.
So
94.
Your third year.
Yeah,
second
my
year.
third year. My third year is when I saw him at the Pro Bowl.
For the first time.
At the first time, yes. And it was, he was just different, man. And I've seen great athletes, have played with great athletes, but they didn't move like this guy.
Yeah.
To move off of that.
Well, no, I want to stick. This is fascinating to me because it's always interesting to me when the best compliment others and say they were just on another level. Because I've always said there should be a super NFL.
Right.
With guys like Vernon Davis and, what's the receiver? Calvin Johnson. Like those guys belong in even a higher league than the NFL. And I feel like Dion.
There's no higher league. That. No, because the league, that's not true. Because the NFL is that, like, you talk about a guy like Dion, he's different because he was just exceptional and he was very well-rounded in a lot of things he did. But if you look at the NFL, man, the athleticism is really close. Like you said, Vernon Davis, dude, I've seen guys who can match that.
Yeah, but then there's we watch practice. There's Johnson. Some guys out there you're like,
that are freaks, right?
No. I'm saying there's guys out there like, not everybody in the NFL is a freak.
Yeah, but but I'm saying, but even though they're still like you're close. He's even the backup to
I
a guy.
get it. I get it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You're watching these like third string quarterbacks. You're
Man, me and my wife had this conversation about quarterbacks in the league the other day, and I was like, someone had mentioned to her that this quarterback sucked, and he was like a second string quarterback, and I was like,
I know what you're gonna say.
You know how many dudes?
If he went out on the street, he would dominate everybody. I get it.
You know how many dudes can actually spin the ball? Like, not many guys can spin it like that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you can throw it. But
you're sitting next to one of them.
You can throw it, but are you accurate? Are you going to make the right decisions? Like, it's just
no. You're right. Yeah, it's quarterback's way beyond physical ability.
So we're off.
Sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Off track.
Yeah,
anyways,
that was a fun.
Can
question.
I go into the meat of this?
So Ben Gibbs, best player you ever.
Okay.
I got
So
you.
Deion is one. Okay. Now let me give it to you. Best football player, Larry Allen.
Okay.
Best football player I've ever played with. Like, there's a difference. Yeah.
Okay.
Larry Allen was the most dominant football player for at least 7 or 8 years of my career. Like, he dominated people across from him. And let me tell you this. When you can move another man that weighs 350 pounds to another spot against his own will, that's saying something.
Yeah. How big was he?
Larry was like
legit,
340, 330, but he would move grown men that outweighed him, and he would say, "Look, you don't belong here. I'm going to put you over there," against their will.
Is there anything more just defeating than being moved by another human being?
I mean, it was incredible how he just totally dominated the game. And we talk about football IQ, probably one of the highest football IQs out there. Could play multiple positions. He could play guard. He could play tackle. He could probably play the center position. Hell, if we needed him to line up at tight end, he could probably do that
just
as well.
Anything he wanted.
He could do it. He did a little bit of everything, man.
That's
and
awesome.
did it with tobacco in his sock. He had skull.
Dude was dipping in practice in the game.
Whatever they
did he ever do it in a game?
Oh, every game.
Really?
He had that skull in his
dude. You take one
sock.
dip and you're sitting there buzzing, spinning, right? And this dude's playing tackle.
Die if I ever did that. But that was him, man. He was incredible, man.
Wow.
And again, for a long period of time, he didn't get all the hoopla, but probably the best football player I played with.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool to hear an offensive lineman was best
strong,
football
man.
player.
Yeah.
Wow. Where does he live now? Does he live around here?
It's in California.
Okay.
In California.
When do you get him on the pod? What are you doing?
He's a little shy, man. He's
Is
a little
he?
quiet. Yeah, he's quiet.
I want to hear a story. I want to hear because I bet
I'd love to hear. Man,
I bet you in middle school he just dominated folks.
You got to
in
hear.
High school.
Grew up in Compton City. Got stabbed in the head as a kid. Yeah,
gosh.
he's got a story, man. I'm not sure how much he's going to want to share it, but
well, you can just tell it for him.
yeah, I'll speak for him.
All right, that was fun. Question 2 is from Kay Putnam. Now that we're, and she puts hopefully in quotations or parentheses, now that we're hopefully getting to the other side of COVID, what are you thankful for this past year?
Oh, Kay, that's a great question.
And then part 2 of the question, how, if at all, has COVID changed the way you live, your routine, etc.?
Well,
so what are you thankful for?
My family,
looking back.
my family's health. Because there were a whole lot of uncertainties going into COVID. Sure. We just didn't know how major this was going to be. You know, this pandemic was, affected so many people, differently. And I remember when the pandemic hit, I didn't take it serious until it, was basically on my front door when a good friend of mine got really sick, and he was extremely healthy. Worked out every day. Did all the little things, watched what he eat, was just a dear friend, and he was basically put on a ventilator quickly. And that's when it shocked me. And of course, the first thing you think about is your family. Yeah. That's the closest thing to you. So, my kids, I wanted to protect my kids, wanted to protect my mother, who was up in age. And, it was a tough time. So I would say, I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my family's health, friends, and just, my heart goes out to so many people that were affected through this situation, because people lost their lives, man, and that was hard to deal with. Yeah, for sure. What about daily life today? Has anything changed? Maybe, things you can't really put on paper. Yeah, mentally. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the awareness is up there now. My awareness, look, I've been really lackadaisical throughout my year, but throughout my lifetime, and we've had a couple of events. Not only the pandemic, but then we had the freeze here in Dallas that knocked out the grid for a long time, and we were struggling. Look, I'm more aware of my surroundings. I'm being more proactive in setting up safeguards. Like there were times, even through this process, like I wasn't even sure about my insurance, my medical insurance, and all the. Look, I am so much more prepared for the little things now than I was pre-COVID.
Yeah, right.
And again, like even at the office, the same thing. I just don't take it. I have a new perspective on health. I have a new perspective on love, on friendships, on so many other things based on the fact of what we've gone through in COVID.
Yeah. Based on the nature of what we do day to day, work looks like it's changed a little bit. Has your routine changed as far as that goes at all? You're still doing your normal thing?
No. I think my routine has changed. One thing about going through COVID is I was able to spend more time with my family because we were at home. The office was shut down. There were some routines that I brought along through that process of spending time eating breakfast with my son. Now I'm doing that every morning.
Yeah, awesome.
Being more affectionate in some ways to my wife because I'm around her. I was around her a lot. Got a ton of respect. Like the respect level for my wife and my kids has gone up because I in spending time, you start to see of all the things that they have to carry and all the bullshit they have to put up with me, So yeah, I think there was things have definitely changed, man. I have a newfound respect for those that I'm close to.
Are you on team I prefer to work from home at least some?
No.
Or are you on team I
need to work.
Ready to be back in the office?
No, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I respect those that say, well, I want to work from home and get some time out. But I also feel like I need to be at the office at times. And I don't see if in our industry, I don't feel like there's a big issue with that. If you get the work done.
Yep.
If you're Tyler Klutz, who's in the office and he's working from home here and there, I know Tyler. We all know Tyler. You know his ass is going to work. I mean, does he need to be in the office to do so?
Yeah.
If he can get the job done at home, then damn, get the job done. So I'm either way.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to say, should everybody do it? I guess for you personally, did you find, because I'm guessing before
I know COVID, how I'm built.
I'm guessing before COVID, you never even thought in your head, I'm going to work from home.
No, I never did. Never
so I'm just wondering for you personally, did you find it productive being home? Did you?
It wasn't as productive for me because my wife is, runs her business and she was yelling the whole time. And I couldn't even find a closet to sit in. So I was wanting to go to work, man.
So you're saying you weren't,
I prefer
you weren't the master of your domain.
Yeah. No, not at all.
That's funny. Question 3, Diego Vaughn asks, if you could have anyone dead or alive on your podcast, who would it be and why? And you can't say Jesus.
Yeah, I can't say Jesus. Yeah, come on, Diego. That ain't cool.
So other than Jesus,
on your
podcast?
I would say that would be a great conversation.
Would that be crazy what? To have Jesus on your podcast?
Dude, we'd be crying
what would
the
you
whole
ask
time.
Jesus?
I don't know. I'd be in tears the whole time. Emotionally, how do you get through that? How do you get through that sacrifice? Seriously.
Yeah.
Be in the presence of a man or God. God.
God?
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so let's really, okay, so let's.
But what's the first question you'd ask Jesus?
Why?
Okay, you went deep. I thought you were going to be
like, how many questions? Don't we all have that question?
Yeah.
Why? How do we get here? What is? We have so many questions to ask.
Oh, it'd be a world record podcast for sure.
It would never end.
It would never end.
It never end.
All right, so who would you say?
Muhammad Ali, hands down.
Muhammad Ali,
and I would say that because a lot of people probably, that are younger wouldn't understand. But I grew up in the '70s, and I watched a man go through so much in his lifetime. People really understand what Muhammad Ali went through. He's one of the great boxers. Olympic gold medalist, represented the country, was a Christian and changed his views to Islam, and it was against the war in Vietnam, and went against everything that the institutions were all for. He went totally against it. Had to go to jail. Spent time in prison. He was willing to sacrifice for his own beliefs. And as a black man back then, you just saw a man who just, he epitomized greatness because of how strong he believed in his own way of life. And I just thought it was just incredible, man. It was beyond what he did in the ring. Mm-hmm. It's the way he lived his lifestyle. And it challenged me as a kid to say, that's how I want to be.
Yeah.
Who cares what everybody else thinks? I got one. Mm-hmm. I got one shot.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do, and I'm going to ride it out and love what I love and be passionate about what I want to be passionate about, and not worry about what everybody else and how everybody else feels.
Obviously, everybody's different, but I was too young to remember him at all.
Right.
So is there anybody that you see in sport today that has any sort of semblance?
No, I think there's a lot of people that honestly want to have that mentality, but it centers around money. He was unique, man, because it wasn't about the money. Mm-hmm. It was never about, if he didn't, he was a guy that if it was about the money, he would have shut his mouth and did whatever. Right. He would have fell in line. He was willing to go to jail because he firmly believed that he shouldn't be going to war. And he wasn't going to fall in line with the system. And I just admired him, man. And truly, at the time, if we talk about athleticism, they always say the greatest. He was the greatest. Yeah. He was the greatest because of how he performed on the big stage, but how he lived his life. And I'll tell you this quick story. So we had this autograph appearance. I had this autograph appearance in New Jersey, and I was the smallest guy on this. I don't know how I even got on this stage on this autograph appearance, but when you walk into this auditorium, the crowd is out front, but in the back behind the curtains, there was the Joe Montanas, the Dan Marinos, you name it, man. The Troy Aikman and all these big time quarterbacks. John Elway, Emmett was there. There were so many guys that were back there that were legends in the NFL world.
Yeah, how did you end up in that game?
I have no idea. No idea how I was there, man. And this is like in '96 or something. Probably because we had won some Super Bowls. Right. I don't know where he's out. But we're in the back behind this curtain. But in the front was the entire crowd, and you could enter to the back, how we entered, how most of the athletes entered, or you can enter through the front, right? But there's 1,500 to 2,000 people in the front, because they're waiting for us to come out and do a signing out in public. So anyway, I'm in the back, and I'm pre-signing some things, and you can hear this crowd go, "Ollie. Ollie. So he was signing. He was supposed to sign that day, but he didn't go through the front. Go through the back.
No.
He walked through the front, and the crowd was screaming. Wow. Like they were going crazy. And he walks to the back, comes through the curtains, and every guy that was back there were like little kids.
They went back to their
we were like,
can
quick. I get an autograph? Yeah. Like I saw him the first time. I mean, Elway, everybody was up there trying to get autographs from him. And he signing autographs, taking pictures with, like he was a star of the stars. Yeah. He was way I wasn't even close to being a star, but I saw guys like, again, Troy and Elway and some of the great NFL stars who are Hall of Famers walk up to this man and just pay homage.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's like to be that on that level. I've made this comment before. You make fun of me all the time, but it's so fascinating to me that human beings put other human beings on this pedestal like that.
Yeah.
That we just elevate.
But I think that's what I'm saying to you. His life was different. Yeah. It wasn't just sports. It was a sacrifice that we all respected. Yeah. He took a stand. And that's
nice. Well, man, I want to have him. I wish we could have him on too.
Yeah, man.
Sounds like a great dude. Yeah. All right, last question. Getting a little deep here. Jen Williams asks or says, you mentioned your daughter struggled with addiction in the past.
Yeah.
First of all, how's she doing? So you can answer that one first.
She's doing great. She is. My daughter, Miranda, is awesome. Like, and we can get into it here probably on the second question, but I'm so proud of her, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, you talk about a warrior's mentality. Just, still continuously challenges me every single day of my life to make me a better person. But, I'm so happy for my daughter and where she is, today. But
she living in Austin, correct?
She lives in Austin.
What does she do?
She's going to school. She's going to be a nurse,
awesome.
Practitioner to be exact. But she's a hard worker, man. She's I don't know where she got it from. It ain't from me, but she's a grinder, man, and she's put life in perspective. She knows what she wants.
Yeah.
So
good for her.
Good luck for the guy that she meets, brother.
Yeah.
Her first boyfriend coming up, brother, gonna be in trouble. Right. Gonna be some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's doing great.
No, that's awesome. And we say it every episode, but it warrants to be said a million times. It's interesting the profession she's choosing to go into. Yeah. Serving other people.
Serving others.
She went through something really difficult.
Yeah.
She's finding her calling and serving others.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So what advice do you have for parents who have children struggling with similar issues? Is there anything you would do differently given the chance?
God, man, I beat myself up. I really did. When my daughter was going through her situation, through addiction, I really blame myself for a lot of it. Mm-hmm. She would tell me, through that process, this had nothing to do with you. This is on me.
Yeah.
But what would I do different? Look, I think there are a number of things. I think one would be, I would be more patient to really understand my daughter or my child. Mm-hmm. Just like get to know them. Not saying be their friend, because I'm her father. Mm-hmm. But just open up and show my vulnerabilities. And I don't think I did that. I think I was more of a tough guy back then. Like, you just get it done. Yeah. If there's a problem, you just figure it out. Yeah. And instead of, telling her, hey, here are my vulnerabilities. This is what the things that have happened to me in my life. I didn't share those things with my kids growing up. Mm-hmm. And that was for me, it was a regret, because I feel like I could have gotten closer and had those conversations. I think she was afraid to have deep conversations with me, because I was calloused, and I had this, guard up, like, just get it done.
Right.
And now that I look back at it, man, I just felt like if I would have just opened up and been soft and shown my vulnerable side, and I have, through the years now, I feel like more and more, I learned from that process, and more I'm trying to share who I am. Hence one of the reasons why we're having this podcast, because I want us to share our vulnerabilities, mm-hmm. and encourage others to know that they're not alone. We've gone through it. Yeah. Doesn't matter where you are in your life. We've all gone through something. We all got a story.
Yeah, no, that's encouraging to me. Two young boys, and that's one of my fears raising them, especially as society gets more that way. It does seem like drug addiction is a growing problem, yes. not a decrease. Now that mm-hmm. just might be my perspective. I haven't looked at the data on that, but that is a fear. Is how do you approach that mm-hmm. when they start getting to that age where it becomes, an issue? How old was she when you first found out about the struggle?
She was about 17, 18.
Okay.
17, 18 years old, somewhere in there. And it was, to me, look, she may have a different perspective of this, but, it was kind of gradual in a sense. She had made some changes from one school to another. She was changing as a person, and which rightfully so. We start to change in 17, 18. You start, you start to experience things differently. And she was going through that, but I wasn't communicating with her. Mm. We weren't having those deep conversations. I wasn't, there was a time early in life where I would take DJ, my oldest boy, and we'd go to all-star games here and there. I wasn't sharing those moments with my daughter or even my son, Jaden. I wasn't doing the little things that take them away, getting to know them, and them getting to know me. And that's the regret that I have. I was just home every day, go to work. Yeah. Home, go to work. And there were none of those little experiences. And if I could do it all over again, man, we would have had so many more outside of ourselves, one-on-one experiences together.
When would you have started that if you could have?
Oh, man,
at what age?
Young, 5, 4.
Oh, that young?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in the fact of, this is my second go around. And the mistakes that I made early on was I didn't, even with Jaden, who's 20 years old now, Jaden was playing baseball and we traveled the country playing baseball, but it was still never a he and I. I went on 98% of those trips, but we were around his team the whole time. We still didn't have the experiences of just he and I going to Europe. Or doing little things together, or going to the MLB All-Star game, or those type. I regret those things.
Sure,
I really do. And that starts early, man. And I think we should, if you have two or three kids individually, you need to take those kids individually. Yeah. And have dinner, or go through some experiences together instead of as a group all the time.
Yeah, my wife and I actually have thrown that idea out there. We haven't executed it. We will, but she'll take my older boy and they'll go do something. I'll take my younger son. Yeah. And now he's 1 in a few months. He's not going to know anything, but it's more for me at this age, right? And then we'll switch. She'll take my younger son, and I'll take. But to your point, it's having that individual one-on-one, because a lot of the things we do, they're together, right? And they just get lumped together, and we're just it's. I don't want to call it lazy, but it essentially we're just being efficient with that.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
We're all going to the park together. We're all going to walk together. Yeah. Why not, like, to your point, start now? Yeah. Get to know them, because they're so different. Yeah. Oh, my gosh, man. They're so different. Their personalities are so different.
You know what else they need to experience, too? They need to experience you being an idiot. Like, seriously. I don't know how. Plenty of that. I don't know, like, how to fish. Right?
We just bought my son his first fishing pole lesson. And Tyler just walked out. He'd make fun of us, but I don't even know how to string the thing up. Exactly. Is that even the right way to say it? I don't even know.
Same, but our kids need to see us go through those experiences, right? Yeah. And hook a worm, put a worm on the hook, and all those. Yeah, I know. Trust me. But those are. I'm telling you, man. In the good times, I look back at my life when I was like. I wasn't the pro or didn't understand certain things. Those are experiences that my kids are like, man, remember that time you didn't? And you can, continue to move on that. Like right now, I got a 5-year-old that I'm still not a fisherman. And just the other day, we're at the lake, and the guy that's hosting us said, hey, man, we need to go fishing. And my son, Judea, just lit up. And I was like, holy cow.
My son's about to know I'm a loser.
Yeah, I'm about to. So next time we're out at the lake, we're going to go fishing.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, good, man. That was fun.
Yeah. We can keep on doing these.
Yeah, thanks for opening up on that one, because I think a lot of people will find value in that last question for sure. Because, again, I'm learning. I've got 2 young boys. I'm trying to figure this out. I know that's going to be something we're going to face one day. Yeah. So I'm hoping that I can be proactive and learn from people like you that's what you would change.
And you know what? Even for those that are, my age, man, I mean, and your kids may be growing up, it's never too late.
True.
Still not too late.
True. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, you guys have a great weekend. Again, enjoy the time with your family this weekend. Happy 4th of July. No episode this Sunday. We'll be back to our normal schedule next week. Appreciate you, D.
Yeah, thank you.